Good morning and welcome to this week's pet pairing. Again, it's been a while since we've seen each other, but at least this week I've been feeling a lot better in terms of my, headspace. So it's not really been because of that I haven't filmed. It's really been that I had to be either at work really early this whole week or we've had a lot of social activities at work. Anyway, I'm going to start doing my makeup and then we can chat a little bit. I'm going to grab the Inglot Eyeshadow Keeper as my eyeshadow primer. So, as with most workplaces, all the, Christmas events are starting to roll out, and I just coincidentally have two after each other, and this evening I'm going out for dinner as well. But basically on Wednesday we had our Secret Santa with the lab, which is, a little event that we organize every year, and it's just for the members of our group, which is about 10-12 people or so, depending on the year and who wants to participate. And that was really fun. We had a small activity planned for that. We went to, it's called a prison island, but essentially it is, you're split into groups and then you can go into all of these different types of rooms and you have to solve puzzles, and the puzzles can be either based on teamwork or they need to be quite strategic. Your math skills need to be pretty good for those, or they're quite physical. I'm taking the SLR Double Wear in the shade 2 and 1, and I'll be honest with you, I actually suck at games like this because I crack under pressure. I can't think and concentrate fully if I'm under time pressure, and obviously with these kind of games you're always under time pressure. I just need my time to think about things, and most importantly, if I know that I have the time, I'm not going to panic, and if I know that I don't have the time, my first response is full-on panic, and then I can't even tell you my name if you ask me what my name is. So I find them a little bit difficult, but because you're in a team and because it's also for funsies, it was just really entertaining and we had a really good time. And we also have a Secret Santa exchange of presents, which is always just really fun. We don't make it too complicated, so we always set a relatively, low budget, because students can participate in that as well. We have students at the lab who do internships, and most of the time we assume that they are broke and they can't spend a lot of money on these kind of things. And we also, most of the time, provide little wish lists for each other with links to what we would like to have. So we don't, make it too complicated. And I think most years we're actually pretty good at keeping it a secret from each other who's gifting a gift to who. I personally have the power to see who's giving a present to who, because I organize the event. So I could, if I wanted, to go and see what the pairs are. I never really do that because that's not really fun, but I could if I wanted to. Taking the Dior Skin Correct in the shade 1N, and I'm going to take that on my Sonia G brush. Oh, totally off topic, but I saw, between all of these fun things happening and me not really having much time to be on Instagram, two things. First of all, Pat McGrath seems to be releasing more of those Chromolux spots that she released with the Star Wars collection, I want to say 2 years ago? No, last year? I don't know. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not really super stoked for those because they look a bit boring. There is one that looks like it might be a light green duochrome, but on the website it is described as gold, and that sort of killed my enthusiasm for it. So unfortunately that's a no for me, dog. And the second thing that I am actually really excited about comes from Sonia G. Miss Sonia G is giving us these beautiful brushes. The handles of the brushes are a piece of freaking art, and they're going to be squirrel. I don't think she's done squirrel before. I'm so excited for that. I don't actually have, I have one squirrel brush, which is this one from Wayne Goss, and it is a really, really nice brush. I don't use it a lot because squirrel is quite delicate and I'm a bit of a savage and I'm always afraid that I'm going to damage the bristles, but I do actually really like this brush and I actually should just start using it more. But I am so stoked for Sonia G releasing squirrel brushes. I haven't looked very carefully at what the set contains, so I don't quite know yet if I want to get the whole set or just select brushes. My strategy is usually to go for select brushes because it's very rare that I like the shapes of all the brushes in a set. But I will see depending on the prices and the availability. I'm going to take the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. I haven't actually looked what the release date is, so I'm going to have to keep that in mind because I think this is going to sell out fast. Sonia hasn't done squirrel brushes before. These look very collectible, so everyone who is, you know, a fan of Sonia is going to purchase these brushes. I suspect that the set will be the most popular one and the first one to go. So like I said, I will think about whether I want a full set or just a few of the brushes, but I definitely want something from that and I'm really excited for it. I'm going to take the Too Faced Laminating Brow Wax to quickly do my brows. I'm actually not sure how much is still left in here, but I will just continue scraping the walls until it's literally not doing anything anymore. Anyway, so that was on Wednesday, the Secret Santa with the lab. And then yesterday evening we had the... I actually don't know how it is called in English. In Dutch it's called the Sint Dobbelspel and the Double Spell. And it is, I'm pretty sure you have it in other countries as well, but it's essentially a sort of like a steal the gift kind of game. And one of my friends at work, she kind of organizes that every year. Ever since I started working at that department, we've had it like on and off because, you know, of time availability or COVID or stuff like that. But we had it last year and it was great fun. And we had it yesterday as well. And that's basically with like a more select part of the lab. Usually with all the gals. Let's be super extra and do both contour and bronzer today. I'm going to take the Victoria Beckham Contour Stick in the shade Sandstone, and I am going to just apply the absolute tiniest bit here and use my Sonia G Sculpt 4 to blend that out. So basically, in preparation for the game, again, we set a budget, and usually it is, again, not a very high budget. I think usually we've been doing about 15 euros, and for that amount of money you have to buy a couple of like small gifts. And if you were to really go the extra mile, and I think this year people really went out with this, you're going to wrap your gift in a deceptive way so that whoever has it in their hands has no idea what is actually inside. Because the game goes in 3 rounds, and then at each round we put all the gifts on the table and it involves dice, and then 1 through 6 means something. And 1 through 6 can mean anything from take a gift from the table to unwrap the gift, or give a present to the person or on the right, or give all your presents to the person that's sitting across of you. You know what I mean. So you shouldn't get attached to anything that is on your lap until the game finishes. But basically it goes in 3 rounds, and then you have to complete each round in a certain amount of time. Let me also quickly bronze a little bit with Nude Honey from Pat McGrath Labs. And basically by round 3, which is the last round, the game starts to resemble the freaking Hunger Games, because everyone gets really amped up and emotional, because some of the things have already been unwrapped. People have formed an emotional connection to the items on their lap and they want to keep them. But obviously, like I said, until the very last minute of the game, you don't know what you're actually going to end up with. Which is not to say that you can't exchange afterwards, and a lot of the times people will just be nice and give you the thing that you really wanted. But they might not. They might also be really attached to it. And the funny thing is that each year there are a couple of items which are highly coveted and people are always fighting over those. So it was absolutely hilarious. We had a grand time yesterday. We laughed so hard. And I was really happy with my loot. I shared it on Instagram just this morning, but basically I got this really cute snowman mug, a festive candle, and the best and most surprising thing, the earrings that I'm wearing. Let me show you. So these came into my possession like halfway through the game, and I think because a lot of people don't really wear such like colorful things as I do, not many people were like too interested in them. But as it turns out, these are a pair of earrings from Alice, my friend Alice here on YouTube. Alice's Beauty Madness, and her Etsy shop that I have mentioned before, which is Alice's Clay Designs, which I'm going to link again in the description box just in case you're interested. But I was so happy because these are so me. The colors, the design, everything about them is super Mariam. So these were like sort of like meant for me. For blush, I'm going to take also Pat McGrath Labs, and this is Nude Venus 2, which was a holiday release from, I want to say, last year, which is one of my favorite blushes for the winter. So I consider myself really lucky. I actually had a couple of other items, but I gifted those to other people. I had like a little hand cream, which was actually part of the gifts that I had purchased myself, and I think a pair of gloves that I also passed along to someone who needed them and wanted them more than I did, because I was just really happy with the 3 items that I mentioned and I didn't really need anything else, but it was just such good fun. I don't know, do you guys have like similar games like this where you are from? Do you like play them with your family or with your friends, or have you never heard of this sort of game before? I had never really heard of this before I moved here. I'm going to highlight with the Rêve de Camélia from Chanel. I saw, again, this morning on Instagram, that Chanel is releasing some sort of a winter collection. I saw hints of their spring collection, which honestly didn't speak to me at all. It was very pastel. And all of a sudden I saw these blushes with like a little snowflake embossing on them, which look absolutely adorable. But the colors don't look very wintry, if I'm being completely honest. Like, the color that spoke to me the most obviously was coral, and I'll be totally honest with you, I don't see myself using a blush with a snowflake on it in the summer, which is when I would be wearing a coral. Like, if you're in Australia, New Zealand, like the part of the world where it's warm now, like now is your summer, I can totally imagine you rocking that blush, but to me it somehow makes no sense. There are some other colors in the collection that also look really beautiful, but I think the one that I was the most attracted to was definitely the coral. I'm going to spritz my sponge with a bit of Fix Plus, and then we can move on to the eye makeup. And I want to give you a fair warning. This is going to be a pet pairing, but I am going to sneak in my signature quad from Victoria Beckham Beauty. You are nice and zoomed in now, and also I just realized that I may have sort of done a similar look a couple of weeks ago, but you know, I don't care. I want to do a look that really fits this outfit, and the look I have in mind I think really fits this outfit. So let's take it one step at a time. First I'm going to go into the signature quad from Victoria Beckham Beauty, and I'm first going to take the lightest shade in here, which is this very cool toned beige, or at least I think on my skin it translates quite cool toned. And I'm going to fluff that through my crease and upwards towards the brow bone. I am really hoping that in the next 2 weeks, so the last 2 weeks of this year, I will have a bit more time to film, because I have so many fun ideas for videos. I just truly haven't had the time. But I'm planning a week off between Christmas and New Year, and I'm also planning to work a bit from home the weeks flanking that holiday week, so that should give me a bit more time to sit down and film videos. But let's see how it all comes together in reality. I am going to take just like the absolute tiniest bit of this mid-tone brown and mix these two together, just to create slightly bit more of definition here in the outer corner, and again fluffing it through the crease. You know how much I love this quad for this purpose, because I can sort of like dose how much I apply of each color and play around with the depth and the tones. I think this is just so basic but so brilliant. And now we are going to start applying Pat's makeup. Of course, I'm going to take the bronze Bliss Quint from last year's holiday collection and take this anthracite gray shade over here, which I don't know that it's my favorite for this look, but you know what? I want to give it a try. I'm just going to apply it here in the base of my lashes, and honestly a lot of the times these colors, they like create definition, but you don't really see them all that much once I cover them with the metallic lid shade. So I'm just going to try to go for like a sort of like black liner situation without really applying an actual pencil or liquid liner, because for that it just works really well. Do you guys have a lot of like Christmas activities at your workplaces? What do you usually do? Are there like crazy parties? Do people get shit-faced? We are actually going to have also a department party, but that's going to be next week. And those are usually also really fun. And they don't involve anyone getting too drunk, I think. At least I've never seen it. I've heard that sometimes it can happen, but I don't think it's something that happens a lot. We just, you know, have good fun. And I think the people that are organizing it this year are planning some sort of like a quiz. And I do love me a quiz. Okay, so this is just an absolutely classic look right now. Next I am actually going to take the Moonlit Seduction palette. So that is Mothership 10, which is one of my absolute favorite palettes for the winter time. And I'm going to apply a tiny bit of glitter glue as usual. And then I'm going to go into this shade here. This is Platinum something. Oh gosh. Platinum Dusk, which is one of my absolutely favorite shades in here. And we will see how we go after that. But first I'm going to apply the absolute tiniest bit of my NYX glitter glue. And I'm going to whack that here on the lid area. Are you also planning on taking some time off around the Christmas holidays? I'm guessing a lot of you also have many family events lined up for those days. Now I'm going to go into Platinum Dusk and I'm going to just apply it with my finger onto my lids. We only have one family event lined up on the 23rd. We're going to go to my parents-in-law and we're going to celebrate with the family with like a nice dinner. And again, we have like a Secret Santa lottery, which reminds me I need to buy the presents for my, you know, secret person that I need to give a present to. Anyway, but that's usually how we deal with this. I just don't understand why people want to make it difficult and like buy separate presents for each family member and struggle with what to buy them. I'm going to blend out a Platinum Dusk through my crease, FYI. When you can just do something as simple as a little lottery, you don't have to buy 50 presents. And again, we do the little wish list thing. I can tell you what's on my wish list. Literally, all of my wish list this year for the family exchange is earrings from Alice's Clay Designs. I put like 5 or 6 options in there, and we have again a budget, so I'm not going to get all of them, but I'm going to get like 1 or 2, and I am more than happy about that. I'm going to do yet another step that you have seen before. I'm going to take a little bit of Lunar Luxury here, and I'm going to put that over top of Platinum Dusk for extra sparkle right here. This is just one of my favorite winter looks. That's why you keep seeing iterations of it, because I do actually wear this look very often in the winter months. Next I'm going to grab the newest mothership for this year, like Mega Mothership, not Mothership, Mega Mothership. This is Starstruck Splendour. And I'm going to attempt 2 things with that. First, I'm going to put this cooler toned gray-green in my inner corners as an inner corner highlight. But I'm also going to try to take a few flakes of that and also apply that on my lid, because I'm just curious what that's going to look like. But for starters, let's apply a little bit of this shade in my inner corners. So that's how I, you know, cheat my way around this look. There's always like something about it that is slightly different than the look I've done before. So that's how I get away with redoing this look 3 times a year for you. I love this shade. I really like this palette. I think it's a little bit more of like a palette that garnered very mixed feelings and reviews from people. Personally, I really like Starstruck Splendour. I think it's going to come down to your color preferences, what you enjoy in terms of the formula. By the way, now I'm going to take a few, well, it's not really flakes, but you know, we're just going to go for it. And I'm going to apply a little layer of that here. A little layer. And I'm going to try to really work that together with the shades underneath it. I hope that you can see all the little nuances that we have created by all of this layering. I mean, the green might have totally been overkill, and if you are sort of copying this look from me, you don't have to put the green also over top of Lunar Luxury. You can just stop at Lunar Luxury, but you know how much I love the overkill. I'm going to have a long day, so this makeup needs to stay in place for over 12 hours today. I'm going to take Intensifies from Mother Pat, and I'm going to apply that on my lower lashes. This is actually my favorite way of using this stick ever since I discovered that it can make some of my eyeshadows crease faster. I've just decided that I'm going to use it for lower lash line work primarily and inner corner work every now and then. But anyway, I'm going to take this shade now, I'm going to go back into Bronze Bliss, and I'm going to take the Anthracite Gray again and just apply that very gently and close to my lower lashes to complete this look. I'm going to clean off my little soft definer from Sonia. Unfortunately, the soft definer hasn't really made a comeback, but I saw a brush slightly similar to that in the new Blue Squirrel set, and I want that brush. I'm going to just lightly blend out that Anthracite Gray, and I'm not going to make it too dark either. And here is a sparkle moment for the enthusiasts out there. Final touch to the look is the lipstick, and I chose for the Luxe Trance in She Is Heaven from Pat McGrath Labs. Unfortunately, I long ago discontinued the line of lipsticks from Pat. This was her version of like comfortable cream lipsticks. Well, no. She now has the Divinyls and the, what are these called? The ones from the Bridgerton collection, the Satin Allures, which sort of are a substitute for the Luxe Trance, but they're not the same as the Luxe Trance. I deeply miss that formula, and I basically love how this look turned out. I'm so pleased with it. It is just cool tones galore all the way, and I am super here for it. I hope you enjoyed the look too. I'm sorry that it was a little repetitive with stuff I've done both last year and a couple of weeks ago, but I just like really couldn't help myself. So I hope you enjoyed the look anyway. Do let me know what you thought about it. I'm curious to hear about all of your Christmas plans, both at work and in your life, and also if you're familiar with the game that I was talking about, like the little steal the gift kind of game. Anyway, I'm going to run to work now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye!